Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start about today. About my lecture is today about the realms within our own social or spiritual or soul contract with which we have in our lives. And there's so much on the internet about soul contracts, what they are, and what connects to them. And I'm going to talk a lot today about what my guide Lucerne has spoken to me about. Uh, the information that has been given to me from Lucerne, from the spirit world. So I'm going to speak a lot on that and what Lucerne has given me, and hopefully give you an understanding of how our lives kind of run the way they do, how they propel themselves in the way that they do in our lives. First of all, we think that, first of all, with soul contracts, with that connection to soul contracts within our lives, we have that connection to the spiritual group, our group of spiritual individuals, that group of people on the other side. And some of us could have like groups of thousands of people. We have groups of maybe 500, maybe 1,500 people. There are spiritual groups, spiritual connections on the other side. So as we continually are birth and rebirth through our lifetimes, our incarnations, our vibrations, our new birth. We take people, individuals from that group that cross our paths in this lifetime. They are part of our group, part of our consciousness on the other side. So we have that contract with the group to accomplish, to put something in motion, to get something done that actually affects the whole group, not just us. We think we're living on this earth plane, it's just us. We're up against it all by ourselves. But it's that connection to that group on the other side that through our life sometimes runs the way it does. So we have to understand that a lot of things happen in lives might not be for us. They are not our call to glory, as I would say. They are our vibration of understanding how we affect the group by walking in this earth plane. So that is our first contract. Our second contract that we actually have in our lives is our physical family tree that we're born under. That connection to family. Because I've taught in classes before. We pick our name first. We pick our day, our month, the year of our birth. We pick our time of our birth. We pick where we are born. That is for our soul contract. That is because we need to be in that space at that given time, at that moment to enter this earth plane. But then we pick that family tree, that consciousness. And we have to go through that family vibration, which in our lives lasts us from at least from birth to we get out on our own or out of our own vibration with our lives. We live within that family tree. We live within that. So we have to do the lessons from that, our soul contract with family. You could have alcoholism within your family tree, then you become an alcoholic. You could have different things going on within your family tree, and it kind of feeds off into your cells because of the environment that you're actually born into. You're born into that environment. But has things to do with your spiritual growth, your connection to your soul growth, that connection to that higher vibration of who you are. So when we look at this, it's more of we blame ourselves for a lot of things in our lives. Blame ourselves, but I don't. I'm not into all the connection with that. I tell people it's how we perceive our journey. There are different hundreds and hundreds of different paths that stretch out ahead of us. We, our consciousness within our lives, pick a path. We pick a journey. That could take us over the mountains, through the woods. It could take us the direct route. It could take us around the bend. It could take us in other vibrations, other connections within our lives. But it still takes us on a journey within our lives. And sometimes we beat ourselves up because we picked the right journey. We didn't pick the right vibration in our lives. But it is the vibration we needed at that moment. I explain to people is how, it's not the destination, but it is the journey to wherever we plan on going, wherever we plan on placing ourselves in our lives. It is that journey of direction that we have to connect to within our lives, that journey of vibration. So allowing yourself to find what works for you, what fits the vibration for you at that moment. And it should work for you. Even though it's your soul contract, your realms within that vibration, do you like this? Do you like the journey? That's the thing we always have to ask ourselves. Is the journey working for you? Does it connect to you at this moment? Sure, we might have to take the journey. Doesn't mean we have to be really happy about it. So we have to kind of ask ourselves, okay, I'm on the journey, don't quite like it. Let's change it. Then that's when you start doing the affirmations, the vibrations of energy within your vibration to change how you arrive at the next destination on the path. Sure, we might have to be in a family that has certain characteristics that are feed through the family tree that comes through our forefathers or our family tree back generations could feed off into this generation. But we could always change it within this generation. We can change the direction of our lives if we just allow ourselves to say, all right, where do I need to be? What do I need to see with this? It's not because there are things in your life that you have to go through. We do have to go through certain things because they weren't really for us. There are realms on the other side that Learns to CERN talks about of us with our group consciousness on the other side, and how we affect that group consciousness as above, so below. We affect that group consciousness. No matter what we do here, we affect that. We affect that group consciousness. We can have bonfires going on here. Well, we think it is awful. We think, oh my God, this is just terrible going on in our lives. But it is affecting the spiritual world, that connection to that realm that you're from. It affects it in a way that it empowers that realm, that vibration. And your guides, I always tell people, your guides will look at you and go, you really like that? Whew, that looks awful. Whew. But you like it. Okay. We could have ended up in a different way, a different vibration, but you picked that journey, that vibration. So that's why we always have to go with inward, inside of ourselves, asking ourselves, do we like the journey? Do we like how are walking the journey? And then find out the best direction. Sure, we might have to go through this. Doesn't mean you have to go against it. You don't mean you don't have to hit the wall. I tell people, that's a question is as I say, a lot of people are just hanging on the screen door. And they're just trying to push that door open because they know that they've got to push that door open. But it's only when we have that self-realization within our lives, we step back from the door. We notice the door said pull, never said push. But we spend years trying to push that door until we finally realize in our lives that we need to step back from that door and see that the door really just says pull. A whole different direction than we saw before. But you have to realize that from the different things on the other side, there are different mansions, different realms, different connections from the other side that affects us here. If you believe in past life, you believe in reincarnation, you believe in how we achieve our direction within our lives, you have to realize that we've chosen a lot of these past lives, these incarnations, to affect the group. They were not our karma from, I love it when people say, oh, 20 years ago, 20 lifetimes ago, you were a terrible person. And this lifetime, you've got to pay for it. I don't, maybe I'm just one of the people that don't believe that. I believe from Lucerne that when we stand on the other side, We are part of that realm, that part of our spiritual realm. We pick our journey here. That journey sets in this lifetime, whatever our lifetime is, 20, 30, 80 years, how long you're living on this earthplane. That is that lesson that you're learning in this lifetime. Once you enter this lifetime, the lesson starts. It starts the show, it starts the vibration until you leave this earthplane and venture off to the other side. Once this lifetime is done, once it is finished, lifetime is done. The energy, the vibration that had to happen will happen. It'll happen to affect the whole. See, we don't see it until we get back to the other side. We don't see how our actions, how our vibration has affected the other side. We don't see it. For you, we could think that something really terrible, something awful has happened here. Something as terrible as often has happened here. But we get to the other side, we look at it in a whole different vibration and go, that's why that happened. That's why I had to be there. That's why that happened to me. That's why that had to occur. We see it in a different light from the other side. That's why we have a review of our life, not to torture us from things that we did, but mostly just to allow us to understand how we affected the people ahead of us, how we affected the journey, allowing us to learn from that connection, that journey from where we are. So when you're talking about the realms, think of when you're going into meditation, you're going into this connection to the spiritual realm. Ask your guides for information. Ask them, let them show you different situations on the other side. You'll get a parent view. Sometimes you'll have a very vivid connection to where this is, but other times you'll just have that vision of guides trying to show you where you need to be, what needs to happen, what needs to be put in motion. See, your life is supposed to be awesome. That's what I explain to people when I do readings. Awesome. It's our journey might not be as awesome as it should be, but we're supposed to have awesome. We're supposed to be comfortable as we make our life lessons, our challenges, not beat up and laid somewhere on the path that we can't move, because you're really not going to affect anyone if you can't move. If you're not really moving and you have to, it's not going to affect. If you stop in one position and never move again in your life, you never decide to do anything, that will affect you. It affects the spirit world, but it also affects you in a negative way. It affects you in a negative way if you stop the forward movement to change the vibration of your life. Your guides will move heaven and earth if they want you somewhere. They will move heaven and earth for you. They will connect you to a higher sense of consciousness if you allow them to. And that's through the affirmations, that's through talking to your guides, that's why allowing you to talk to your higher self. Your higher self is completely connected to spirit realm at all times. Your physical sense here is connected here, but your higher self is always connected to the spiritual realm. That's why you always have within your cell growth and your vibration within your life all the memories, all the connections, and all the vibrations that you ever lived and you've ever had connection to. So if you are wealthy and abundant in the lifetime, you can be wealthy and abundant in this one. If you're extremely healthy and you're not too well in this lifetime, your health isn't too good in this lifetime, in some lifetime you're extremely healthy. You were having bad relationships in this lifetime, it isn't a question that you have to continually to have them. It's possibly in another lifetime you met your soulmate, it was beautiful, it was awesome. Bells, birds were singing, it was an awesome relationship. We don't have to follow the same journey in our vibration because it lays within ourselves. It's within our cell vibration, our cell memory that follows us through this lifetime. We have we talk about the Akashic records, the records within our vibration, our past lives, our incarnations, our vibration, everything we've ever done is connected within us. It's already there. It's the book is being written. Our book is being written. When I take people on a meditation, I take them to see their life book. I do that meditation. I take you to see your life book and allow you to look at the book. I wouldn't allow you to look at the book. I allow you to ask yourself, is there any bookmarks within the book? Have you been here before? Do you see a bookmark laying within the book? Then you see what kind of color it was, what vibration it was, what page did you place the bookmark on? What were you looking at last time you were there to look at the book? Well, we have a thing in our lives, we're busy, we're really busy. But the question is we allow ourselves to look at the journey. Life is a lot like a meditation. That's what it is. It's a lot like a meditation, a connection to our higher self. It's a meditation. When we start the journey, what is going on around you when you start the journey? If people are yelling and screaming and all hell is breaking loose, open your eyes, step away from the journey. Step away. If your guides want you there, they will make it very pleasant for you to make the journey. They'll just make it pleasant for you. And sometimes our lives are tough. They are tough. Everybody's going to have points, situations in your life that is, it's a journey. It is something. But during that connection, as you make that journey, sure, you're going to have to go through it. It's something you have to go through. And you have to kind of hold yourself together to get yourself through it. But the vibration is, it affects the spirit world in a way that we can't even comprehend. It affects it in that way that affects your whole spiritual group. So sure, we have to go through things in our lives, but we don't have to hit the wall at 150 miles an hour. We might have to graze the wall. We might have to just kind of tap the wall. But we should never have to just hit the wall at 100 and some miles an hour and knock us completely out as we try to find our path, our journey within our lives. The idea is focusing your vibration of where you feel it works for you, that fits the vibration for you. You pick your name, birthday, all these things in our life. And then once we get away from our family, now, some of us don't get away from family, but when we do make that kind of a journey on our own, we're kind of free to go. I know one time when I had a little car and I put the top down and I drove away from the house and I was out on my own mind. It was me against the world. And then I knew I was setting my own course. It wasn't because of family, it wasn't because of other things. I was setting my own course, but I headed off in a direction that I chose. Family didn't choose it for me. I chose the journey. Then I knew subconsciously at that point that I was in control. I was in control of the situation, of how I perceived it, how I perceived the situation within my life. I can make it bad. I can make it great. I can make it awesome. I can make myself happy. I can make myself in all these situations within my life. But I had the power to do that. I had the power. And that's the one thing about this, your soul contract. You have the power to rewrite your soul contract. It isn't a soul contract that you say, that's it. I can't do that. It's like a last will and testament. Your last will and testament in this lifetime. You put somebody down for your beneficiary. They're going to get stuff. But after you write their name in there, and after a little bit of a while, that person's nuts. You don't want to leave them anything. So you write them out of your will now. You put somebody else in there. Because thinking that they're going to step up and they're going to be the one that you should leave your worldly goods to. So no, we've changed people in our lives of who we give our stuff to, stuff that we've collected through our lifetime. I'm going to do a lecture not too long from now on hoarders, stackers, and packers. A lot of us in our spiritual awareness in our lives, we're hoarders. We hoard all this stuff. We bring it all our lives. We don't put it together. We read books. We do all this stuff. We hoard all this information. We just put it all in here. probably just stepping all over it, putting it all on the floor. It's really just kind of jumbled little craziness going on. And but then there's the stackers, the ones that kind of put it on a nice little box, and they stack it, they put it up there. It's probably going all the way to the ceiling, but it's stacked, it's sorted. And then there are and then there are the packers, the ones that just pack things in every crevice, every vibration that they can understand, and try to just pack them. So we got to figure out where we are in our lives. Are you a hoarder? Are you a packer? Are you a stacker? You have to figure out what that is. If you have too much information, you'll never be able to use it all. You just need just enough information that fits you. Not everything written in books here that I have in my office, not every book that I have here has a strong connection to me on my spiritual walk. Things that I teach you, things that are going on in the vibration, doesn't mean that that's your call to glory here. It's pieces of it I want you to understand. It's the pieces of what I give you. What piece of the puzzle do you need to keep the journey? To take the next step in your journey, what piece do you need? I think of myself as we're all kind of like the puzzle maker. We all have the pieces to the puzzle. Some of us have to ask other people for a piece of the puzzle to get us to where we need to be. We don't have the piece. We haven't had it. We lost it somewhere. So somebody gives us a piece of the puzzle, which kind of finishes our puzzle for us, allows us to move forward, allows us to move down the path. So what piece are you missing? What are you missing out of the vibration? I have my guide, Jeff. He has followed me through lifetimes. He is part of my soul group. He is part of my soul group. My parents, people in my life, are part of my soul group. Think of people in your life, soul group, your spiritual group on this earth plane. There are people on this earth plane that have lived, died, lived their whole lives, passed to spirit, moved back to the spirit world. There are people that you've never seen, never you will have a contact with, will never even venture near their vibration. They're not part of your group. They're not part of your soul group. People that enter your life, even bad ones, bad people, situations in your life, are there for a reason, to affect their group, to affect yours. Things have to affect the vibration of the universe. There's yin and yang. So the question here is not how bad the situation could be, it's how less worse that we can make it. Not looking at something craziness. When I had a lady not too long ago and I asked her about her relationship, and I told her, you don't have to work on your relationship a little bit because I feel a lot of energy and that vibration isn't quite working for you. And I talked for about 5 minutes. Not funny. She looked at me and goes, well, enough of that, dear. What about my boyfriend? Well, I had just been talking about her husband. I didn't know where the boyfriend was coming in here. But she was off in that part of the vibration. And I'm going, if you wanted the relationship to work, why are we over there? That's what I couldn't understand. I said, because I know that people are on their journey, but it's how we make the journey, how we decide the journey should be in that direction. Because we are all these little puzzle makers, all these little people that are little backpacks on walking down the path. So some of us are in the valley walking down past higher ground, different places, different vibrations. A lot of people we can see from a distance of what path they're on, how they're moving up the path. All we can do is try our best to try to help them, encourage them, because my father used to always tell me, somebody in another path that you think is not a really good path could have found a shortcut to get ahead of you on your path. So instead of judging them, allow them to be who they are, allow them to venture down their path. And eventually, somebody might be on your path ahead of you, propelling you forward instead of you propelling them forward. So allow yourself to meditate on your connection to the other side. What is your contract? What did you sign up for? We just bought a new car the other day. They kept throwing paperwork out in front of us, asked us to sign this stuff. We're trying to read it and trying to look at it, but boy, it was coming back very quickly, very fast, fast, furious. So sometimes we don't read the whole contract. We're just busy putting our initials on it and our John Henry, and boy, we're off and running. So sometimes we don't read the complete contract. We're just running and making it happen. But we can always trade up. You can trade down too if you need to, if you want to, but we can always trade up, trade to a different vibration of this. Our soul contract, the other side, are decisions that we made in the realms on the other side of what we wanted to do, or how we wanted to affect the universal energy, the universal vibration of energy. We're supposed to affect that. Then when we get here, we forget that whole contract vibration. We start our life here. But the contract is still in effect. We signed it. We said that is what we're going to do. And our free will is that journey along the path. Remember that journey, not the destination. You could say that you're going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor when I get into my 20s. But you never really quite get to being a doctor. You end up being the attorney. You end up being something else. You never quite get to be a doctor. But for many years, you thought that's where I should be. But the path took you on a different journey, a different vibration for you. Don't allow people in this lifetime to define you. Don't allow them to define your well-being in your life, your vibration within your life. Don't allow people to define you in this lifetime. Because we have that. I see that so often in my life, allowing people to define us of who we are. We put labels on everything, trying to figure out who people are, who they are. Not why they are like that, but who they are. When we walk without some other people, they could have had a bad day. They could have had a bad week. A bad situation happened in their life that we never were privy of understanding that, but they were having a bad day. To judge somebody on some of their bad days, to allow them to move, at some point, they're going to move past that. And if we can be as positive and as good as we can for them, we could be the catalyst that gets them to where they need to be, that they affect others on their journey to get them to where they need to be. So we have to be conscious energy here of what we propel out into the spirit world. I do my best to be as nice as I can possibly be every single day. But I do have moments that I have to take a deep breath, hold myself together without snatching someone. But I have to kind of stop and think before I move forward. And that has to deal with the journey, your contract here. Stop and think before you move forward, because that will help you on your journey. It will help you on your connection to who you are. When a student comes through me and he talks with me about this, he tells me that I am on my journey, and I'm pastor of this church. I've tried to get away, all this stuff in my vibration, my childhood, all these things that happened to me. That's something to do with my growth. And he would look at me and tell me, it's not the whole story. The whole story is the vibration is you had to move past these situations, not majorly for you, but for the group consciousness and for others that will follow you and for others that will follow in your footsteps, follow in your energy field. When I teach mediumship, I teach about psychometry of the vibration. So when we do psychometry, it is the energy of an object. We hold on to somebody's ring, we hold on to their keys, we hold on to something. It's called psychometry. It's the energy of the object. When you sit somewhere in your house, you leave pieces of energy, parts of your energy field are left in that position, that vibration within your life. If you travel in the same direction every single day, every single moment, every single situation in your life, you start to build up energy. You start to build up a vibration of energy within that space. Then that starts to define you. That starts to define you. If you drive every day to the same store, the same way, the same vibration, it sets up an energy. It starts to define who you are. So what you do is you try to change up, change things, move things, look for things that will take you in a different direction. See what's appearing in your life. What are your guides? What are your soul group trying to tell you about? What are they trying to show you? Sometimes they just slap you with something. They give it to you right away. Other times we have to play that scavenger hunt with your guides. It's a scavenger hunt. It's a scavenger movement in our lives. So are you on a scavenger hunt or are you on a vacation? Are you trying to look for something or did you already receive it and you're moving off in that direction? It's how you perceive it. How you perceive the energy of the situation. That's why when people do psychometry, they start teaching themselves how to read the energy, how to read it. When we do healing, balancing other people's vibration, we learn how to read the auric field. We learn how to read the energy signature that is radiating from the individual. When we start working with people, counseling, helping them, encouraging them, we try to read the energy of the situation by teaching you that by getting quiet, by focusing, not being selfish. There are a lot of people say, well, that's just being selfish. I should be out helping the world. I should be out. If yours need to be Mother Teresa and you pick that soul contract, that soul journey this lifetime, you go. But I don't think I picked a soul journey to teach, to instruct, to help, to encourage. I picked that journey in this lifetime. And when I get back the other life, back to the spirit world, maybe I'll do something else. But right now, that is the journey I'm on. That is the journey. And I tell people, when I was here in Castaic, I was raised around here in Castaic in a spiritualist camp. I spent a lot of my lifetime working in spiritual growth situations, working with Christianity and spiritual balancing, spiritualism, Christians. My grandmother was Catholic. She thought I should be the first Roman priest in the vibration, Roman Catholic priest. So a lot of the energies of spiritual energy was around me a lot when I was a kid. So I was always in this work, always protecting this work because I picked my family tree. I could have picked a family tree that didn't care anything about spiritual growth or anything at all. I would have probably been in a whole different direction, but I picked family tree that I was under. So that brought me into Christian churches, spiritualist camp meetings, traveling with my mother, doing readings at different spiritualist camps throughout the United States, traveling with my father as we went through tent revivals and had revivals. And if you all remember back in the late 60s, in the 60s, 70s, maybe you drive through a town, there's a great big tent set up as a tent revival. But probably some of those tents, I was in there with my father, and we were in a tent revival. So the question is, I was born into that tree, that vibration of that tree. And then we lose people in our lives. We lose vibration. People go back to the spirit world, but they leave a hole within our lives. And that's the thing I really wanted to touch on a little bit today, was that hole that's left in our lives from loss, from connections of people leaving us, or we losing something. A lot of us will suffer a loss. And this is the perfect timing, as when we had the pandemic. We had this lockdown. We lost some of our freedom, some of our connections with our lives. Some of us lost jobs. Some of us lost family members. Some of us lost other people, other situations. We've been through some stuff here. So there was a loss. It could have been a large loss, it could have been a small loss, but we all suffered loss. So it means that we lost something from our vibration. Something that's left. We've lost it. It's not there anymore. So as we as individuals need to do is figure out what we want to fill that hole with. What do we want to fill it with? What are we picking up along the path to fill that hole with as we continue to make our journey? We can be miserable, we can be sick, or we can look at the situation as a chance to renew, a chance to recreate who we are. That's what we're trying to do at this lifetime, because sure, we've suffered a loss in our lives. That happens when we get through a divorce, a death in the family, things, we lose a job. It is a loss that has been lost. A piece of us is left. So we have to realize, how have we lost these things? And what do we want to fill these things with? That is the question. Not because I want to fill it with somebody else's junk. People do that. We're like junkyard dealers. We go out and pick up junk. And we try to fill these holes with that junk. We try to fill it with the situation from that. Instead of just allowing ourselves to be not selfish, don't think it's being selfish, but you have to set the GPS. You have to set it for yourself. Sure, you can take information from other people and say, well, yeah, because I teach, I know Christopher Timms teaches, a lot of people teach, they teach all kinds of things. Well, you're not supposed to learn everything that we teach, but you're supposed to take those little pieces that we teach and pack them in an envelope and keep them and put them somewhere on your person. So when you need it, you go, oh, I got that. I want people to walk in their life and go, I got that. I got it. And walk ahead instead of being stomped on the path. And that's the problem. We get stomped on the path and then we get miserable. Then we get sick. Then we get ill. Then we get the spirit side of life. And then we're upset that we didn't get everything done. And then we have to wander around over there trying to figure out why we didn't get everything done. We moved to the spirit world, and I told her the other day, she said, she came to my office and she told me, she said, I'm dying. I want you to do things for my service. I go, oh my God, she's still alive. She's still in my office. She wants me to start doing her memorial service. And she goes, I'm going. I said, well, you're not really supposed to go there. Not supposed to leave yet. But we can pick a time of our exit on this earth plane. Whether we have a full life's energy still left, that's when people around us or people that have a connection, they take whatever life force we have left that we don't want to be here anymore. We're done. We're tired. We're exhausted. It's enough. They take our life force and give it to someone else who wants to be here longer. The forces, the energy, the vibration we put out is never lost. It never goes to hide somewhere. It just gets moved to where it is needed. When I do spiritual healing, when I do Reiki, I can give you all the energy. You might not accept the energy, but the energy is never lost. The energy still moves to where it needs to be because it's never lost. So the question here is, what kind of energy are we putting in? What kind of energy are you wanting in your life? There are buildings on the other side that we attend, universities, spiritual things. Well, my wife's got this thing on Hallelujah on the internet. And it's these angels singing while this small group was practicing singing this song. The angels, you could hear them in the background singing on the recording that was made of that. And my wife goes, you should put that on because my mom, she's in spirit. She'd like to hear that. I said, your mother is probably sitting at the concert on the other side. She doesn't need to hear it here. It's kind of muffled. It's probably pure sound on the other side. So we don't have to play it for them on the other side. It is coming through all the ether sphere to us to give us whatever information we need from it. So us saying we need to do that for so-and-so, but they have so much more of the situation. Sure, the remembrance of someone that left, I remember my parents, my brother, people who passed to spirit, but I send them energy. I send them positive energy. I send them energy in the spirit world because I know that the energy is never be lost. If my brother can't use it, then my father or somebody else in the family can't. So I send energy out to spirit. Oh, I had somebody tell, oh my God, they're dead. Oh my God, they're dead. Why are you sending them energy? Well, they're on a path. Not everyone's going to be on that enlightened path. And my God, they're going to be light and angels are going to sing and it's going to be this awesome journey for them. Sometimes people have to make a little bit of a dark journey off to the other side because they didn't believe in situations here. So they're attached to vibrations of things. So there's this journey of this instruction and pushing them along the path. And that positive energy from you towards that individual allows them to see a little bit more of the light ahead of them. That's all. It's just us sending a light ahead of them. Where two or more are gathered, there I am. So when we start sending this energy, I send energy, you send energy, somebody else sends energy to somebody on the other side, that energy is moved in front of them to propel them forward. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bless people because sometimes we get tired of people. We get exhausted with them. We get totally exhausted with them. I have a brother-in-law right now I'm just totally exhausted with. Totally exhausted with. But he is on his own journey, not my path. God forbid it's not my path. But it is his. It is his journey. And I want to make it the best journey that it can be for him on how he exits this earth plane. The best journey, not disrupting it. That is his journey. That is his path. So we have to allow that to happen. But then we look at people judging us on our journey going, don't beat yourself up if there's something that someone said or somebody put in motion that disrupted you. Let it be. We get too fight or flight. Just gotta go get them. Get them. As I said here earlier, sometimes people might be just having a bad day. They might not be doing what they need to do that day. They're just having a bad day. Let it be. So I said here in Florida, we have alligators. You don't walk out in the water and go swimming. You stay on the bank. You don't walk out there. Everybody in water has alligators in it. That's like our life too. Sure, we can be on the coastline. We're having this beautiful energy going on the coastline, but there's alligators in the water. We can climb into the water and try to wrestle with them, or we can just stay on the outskirts and let them do whatever they need to do at that pond. So we have to realize that we have the option of that journey, that connection to who we are. If we allow ourselves to venture into a dark situation, I tell people, Emerald City, flying monkeys, choice of how we arrive. And your choice is how you proceed telling your guides. If my guides want me to be a missionary, we want me to go help the world, God bless. I need enough money to do that. I need enough to take care of myself. I need enough to get myself there. It doesn't question, sure, you can be the best person in the world, but if you're sleeping on the side of the road and you're starving to death, I mean, are you going to be able to get there to help these people? Are you going to survive the journey? You got to have enough supplies to survive the journey. That's what you're asking your guides for. That's why I tell people your guides will always supply your needs. Whatever you need. What do you need? What do you feel like you personally need? And subconsciously, you know that. You know how much you need in this lifetime. You know. You know how much you need to make your bills, to make what you need to do in your lifetime. You kind of know how much you need right now to make that happen. You know how healthy you need to be and what you're going through in your health. You kind of have an idea of what that is. Ask them for that. You need that. You'd like a lot more, but that's enough. Now, if they have mercy on you, want to bless you with more, bless. But allow them to at least know what you need. I have people say, "Well, Lewis, I want $25 million." Really? Can you personally accept 25 million? That is the question, not the vibration. It's that energy we have within our higher self. If your vibration here says 25 million. And that energy on the other side goes, huh, you'll never get that. Oh, what you asking for, you crazy fool. Then that energy is not going to manifest itself in your life because now you haven't accepted it on both realms, both connections from the spirit world and this world. I could give you a healing and do a healing on you, and I believe that the guides and the heavens have opened up to heal you. But if you're sitting in my chair going, I'm never going to get healed, the person's not going to heal me. How can I be healed? I'm sick. You're probably not going to get healed. you're probably not going to. You're probably not going to find that connection within your life if you don't allow yourself to accept it. But what I'm talking about today is accepting, not accepting everything on the path ahead of you. Think of your life as a large department store. You might not need tires, but why are you shopping in tires? Go on over to the jewelry department. Go on over to somewhere else in the store. If you're tired of where you've been shopping, move to a different part of the store. Get yourself a different view. Ask your guides for a different view. Then watch and see what happens to your vibration. I had a lady not long ago. She said, I want a job. I said, ask your guides for jobs, how much money you need to make. She kept getting this name. It kept appearing on that George. I remember George was appearing on it all the time. Then somebody offered her a job, said, oh, by the way, my name's George. She said, should I talk to him? Yes, because George kept appearing. It's your guides will announce their direction right now. They will announce. Right now, it's about my wife's mother's pass. She passed on July 4th, quite a few years ago. But right now, we have these candles that do not have any batteries in them. Every day from 4 to 8 o'clock, those candles go on. They light. They light. There's no batteries in them, but they're lighting. And they will go for about 3.5 hours. And they turn off every single day. That is us knowing that it is my mother-in-law trying to visit with us, talk with us, connect to us. You have a butterfly land on your arm. Your mother loved butterflies. It's probably your mother trying to talk to you. Different things happen at different times. Like if somebody passed away at a certain time during the day and you sense something at that part of the day, that's them trying to let you know that they're okay. And they're trying to let us know that we're okay. That's the question. We beat ourselves up. We tear ourselves to pieces thinking, oh, I haven't done well. Oh, this is awful. And we get this information from spirit, not really to let us know that, oh my, Joe's okay, this one's okay, that one's okay. It's mostly to give us a hug, allow us to know, you're okay. It's going to be all right. Let's move. Let's do what we need to do. They're trying to give us that comfort for our own vibration, to allow us to know that we are okay. Because we beat ourselves up. People beat themselves up over craziness in our lives because we picked a journey, but then we followed the journey not because we wanted to follow it. We followed it because somebody else thought that should be our journey. That should be our direction. And then we're miserable until we eventually look at it. As I said, stepped away from the screen door or look at the screen door and go, it says pull. I knew it said pull. And we walk through the door. We walk through the vibration. So adjust the vibration in your life. Ask yourself, I always ask my guides, is this good for me? Yes or no? Is it positive for me? Is this something I need to do? Yes or no? If you ask that and you walk out your door and people are screaming at you, someone tries to run and someone tries to run you down with a car, there are dogs chasing you down the street. Oh, stop. Quit, stop it. Don't venture any further into the situation. Your guides have said, no, that's awful. Stop. They'll stop you. They will make you stop. Everything has a purpose in our lives. Not because we need the purpose. It's because we are affecting that realm on the spirit side of life. We are affecting that group, that vibration. We entered here to play our part in this vibration. You might be playing Hamlet, and I might be over in Cats, doing Cats over in another studio. But we're all playing our little part here, our little journey. is how well we learned our lines, how well we learned our lines, how well we connected to that part, how well we're going to do it. That is the question, not how bad you're going to do it or how bad things are happening. Maybe you forgot a line. Doesn't mean you can't remember it. We can do a second take. We can do another take of this. We can do it again. Did you remember your lines? That's the question. Did you remember it? When I do a lot of those shows I do, did I remember my lines? Did I remember them? Did I remember what I had to say? The question is, did you remember your lines? If not, don't beat yourself up. Say, that was awful. And you continue for years trying to beat yourself up. Let it go. Let it be. Ask your guide for guidance. Ask your higher self. Your higher self is connected to that spiritual group on the other side. No matter how you move it, how you rearrange it, how you reset it, it is still connected there. And as long as you understand that, as long as you're connected, you have the knowledge to address you in the forward motion. That knowledge rains down into your vibration. And then the cell memory that you have from every lifetime is within your being on this earth planet. That energy got implanted within your cells in this lifetime. And do you have to do exactly what your parents did? My mother died from asthma, different asthma attacks. My grandmother died from that. Going back in the family, asthma. Do I have asthma? I do. It's from the family tree. But do I have to die from asthma? No, I don't have to. I can adjust that vibration, adjust the situation in a different direction. Sure, I have it. Doesn't mean I have to die from it. I love when people say, oh, Rose, my father died of a heart attack. Oh, my grandfather died of a heart attack. You know, I'm probably going to die of a heart attack. Well, you might, because you are putting that energy into the spirit world. It's what is affecting your consciousness, your vibration at this point. Not what happened yesterday. Yesterday is not going to be worried about yesterday. You've already done yesterday. Yesterday's done. That screenshot, that little rehearsal from yesterday, we're done. We have a new rehearsal today. What are you going to do today? What's happening today? That's when I studied Ramtha. And I did Ramtha for many, many years. I still like Ramtha. But Ramtha said, create your day. Create your day. Create your vision. Create your day. Before you wake up in the morning, before you move, before you open your eyes, before you do anything, sit for a moment. Create your day. Create your existence. Create it. And you might just see what you've asked for. My God, Lewis, I got it. I got exactly what I asked for. You know, because you were creating your existence. If it's miserable, don't create more miserable. If you have people in your life that are completely not connected to your vibration, doesn't mean you have to usher them out the door right away, but you can start blowing some kind of horns in the background to get their attention. Allow them to move somewhere else. My mother used to say, you don't want to wish bad on anyone, Lou. Wish they win the lottery and move away. Don't wish bad on them. Wish what? Win the lottery, move away. We're not wishing bad on anybody. We're just wishing them to be somewhere else. They don't have to be affecting us in a negative situation. And that's what happens a lot here in Castaneda. People come into this organization, they're here, they're going to make all these changes. Oh my God, they're just going to do this whole thing. Spirit just kind of moves them away. They're living somewhere else, and people go, wonder whatever happened to them. Well, they weren't supposed to be here. See, that's why I explain to people. If you're supposed to be where you need to be, they will move heaven and earth for you. They will move the universe for you. The universe will move for you. But how you want it to move, that is your decision, not mine, not somebody else's. We don't have that decision. We're not supposed to drive you. I'm not supposed to be your guru for your whole life and to lead every aspect of your life. I don't have that large robe yet, the gold rings, I don't have those yet. So I can't guide your life for you. But I want you to understand that the pieces that people give you during the day. Keep track of that. Keep track of what's focusing in your life every day. What are your guides trying to show you? You might be in a bad relationship. You might be in something in your life. And your guides are trying to show you the next door. It's like, move through there, go there, right there, go there, get there. They're trying to point you in that direction. Uh, I had a lady going through it. She was contemplating a divorce from her relationship. She turned TV set. She just happened to turn TV set on and went to divorce court. A friend of hers was getting a divorce. She got some papers in the mail from an advertising from a divorce attorney. And she wanted to know, Lewis, tell me if I'm supposed to do that. I said, no, your guides will show you. They will propel situations in your life to get your attention. I shouldn't be the one to tell you to do that. It'd be your vibration to make that happen, especially with being healthy, being connected in your life. Do you want to be healthy? Is your guide showing you something to do? If they want you to take a certain medicine, they keep showing it to you, but you never take the medicine. That's not the problem that your guides weren't trying to help you. Oh, you're having a bad journey. Yeah, you're having a bad journey because you didn't take the information that your guides were trying to give you. So try to find your passion. What is your passion? Find the journey. Doesn't mean we're all going to walk the same path. People are not probably going to walk my path. I'm not going to walk your path. But you are on a path. And a lot of us are on the same path. We're just moving and we're stepping in different vibrations. When I was in service, we'd all walking cadence together. Some of us are walking in cadence together. We've got a lot of energy. Where two or more gather, we affect a lot of the energy on the universal one. But there are people that are on this earth plane that are affecting it in a not a massive round, but they are affecting it. They are an aggregate part of affecting the energy of the whole. So by judging, by placing, saying, oh, they could have an aggregate part of what's going to happen in our lives 15, 20 years down the road. So what's going to happen in our vibration? So we have to ask ourselves, even though my relatives, my people, my life were completely nuts. I knew that. I knew that they were unbalanced. But and then people say, well, my parents were so bad to me. Situations were so awful for me, Lou. I'm just upset. Well, the parents are now died. What am I going to do? Go sit and yell at them? They're not here anymore. That energy is now long past. Do I continue down that energy path? Or do I just sit back and, no, that's the end of that. Let's move somewhere else. And our soul contract, as I said here today, your contract, sure, you signed a contract, but some of those papers came to you off quickly. You might initial them, but you didn't really read the whole contract. So when you get here, it doesn't mean you have to say, that's it. That's my contract. Trade up. Venture out. Move in a different direction. If you're bored within your life, bored within your connection within your life, change it. Move in a different direction. Go to work in a different way. Do something different in your life. Change the energy field to allow it to go in. See, you might be traveling the same distance. It might be through a desolate part of the vibration. There's nothing there but dirt, dust, and crazy people. Venture somewhere else where the lights are on. That's it, where the lights are on. Don't venture into the darkness. Venture where the lights are on. See something different. Go somewhere else. Go sit next to the water. Go do something to change the energy vibration. Somebody that you need in your life could be there doing the same thing, doing the same vibration, because they need it and they were there to meet you, to have a connection to you because you made that journey out of your vibration. So hopefully you guys learned something today, and hopefully I helped you, I encouraged you to find your own journey, find your own path. Don't follow somebody because they say, oh, I know things. Well, we all know things. But do the things I know help you? Do they help? Do they encourage you? Not because I know things. I just want to give you the information, that piece. I'm the puzzle maker, you know. I want to give you that piece. But you're also a puzzle maker. You're going to have a piece. So what piece are you bringing to the event? What piece are you bringing? Is it going to encourage the puzzle, or are people going to try to usher you away from the table? Are you going to be welcomed at the table? That's what we have to ask ourselves. And I want to be welcomed at the table. I think I should be. But sometimes I might get the piece of the puzzle and tuck it in my pocket and walk around with it for a while. But if you need to put it on the table, your guides will instruct you to do that. So I hope that encouraged you today. And this should be posted on YouTube. It'll be posted probably today or tomorrow. I remember doing something. I'm going to be pasting up some more things. Somebody wants some other stuff I'm going to do. I'm going to do something on reincarnation here as the next few weeks. I'll do something on reincarnation, kind of give you information about that. So people get stuck with reincarnation. They want to try to find where they were in a past life, but past life could have been crazy. What do you want to go there for? But I will explain past lives, incarnations, and how they personally work with this vibration we're on now. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you.